Let's go to Chad in Florida. Chad, what's up?
What's going on, boys?
Hey, Chad.
Just wondering if you gentlemen happened to catch the O'Reilly last night and Mandouche. Of course, you gentlemen were brought up. And they were calling, of all things, that show out there, Shock Jocks.
Yeah, we told everyone when this Hold Your Wee for a Wee thing, broke, that we would be dragged into this. And I was getting ready to go to bed last night because I was exhausted, so I decided to go, crash early. And I'm just about to turn off the remote, and I have O'Reilly on. And all of a sudden, our faces are on his show. He's running B-roll about the Hold Your Wee for a Wee story.
What did we do?
They dragged us into it, and then Mandouche was the, quote, expert. And then he takes all sorts of shots at us.
So all he could do now is take shots at us from other people's television shows, because he doesn't have a radio show in any city even worth mentioning.
Yep.
I think he's down to like 3 shows in markets that you've never heard of.
Well, he's calling himself the fastest growing radio show in America.
But the guy is getting thrown off the air in every major city and market that he's in. And he was bitching about our Chicago ratings. Meanwhile, he's got thrown off the air. He's not even on in Chicago anymore.
He doesn't have ratings.
So even if we have one listener in Chicago, it's one more than you have.
We're doing better than you.
That's the only way. So he gets on a show and feels, I'm so angry, I got to just lunge out at these people. Instead of talking about what O'Reilly wanted to talk about, he had to, take his shots at us. It's pathetic.
He's turned into a do-gooder. He used to do shock radio.
Yeah.
But now he wants everyone to forget that he actually did really, really lame shock jock stuff over the years.
He thinks he's a political commentary show.
So now he's going to be the do-gooder and talk about other shock jocks and how awful they are? You were in the genre, you ass.
He's such a Hannity wannabe, and he couldn't wipe Hannity. He couldn't shine his shoes. The guy is just a hack. He's an old shock jock who just couldn't adapt to a changing world. So he decided he was going to try to overnight change his image. What happened to your sidekick Turd? Sending him out on wacky stunts. Just that hack shock stuff too. Not even just natural things that run natural.
We're gonna give you a suit with a lot of blood on it. We want you to go to a Chinese laundromat, make believe you were in the middle of you were in a murder, and you got to clean your clothes fast because the authorities are onto you.
Set up fake stuff with actors and just phoniness. And meanwhile, call us what you want if you want to call us shock jocks or anything, but a lot of everything we did that was this shocking stuff, it was just things that we put in place that kind of took their natural course and were dubbed shocking. We didn't expect a lot of the stuff to happen when we rolled out some shocking bit. It just took its natural course. It wasn't this scripted phoniness that this jackass Mandouche did all the time. And then, that collapses. That whole thing collapses. Shock radio in general. And he decides he's going to be like a Christian, and he's going to
be the new Sean Hannity.
The new Hannity. He's going to talk about politics, and people are going to want to listen. No one wants to listen to his drivel.
Not even his hometown station. His ratings were going in the toilet, and they got rid of him.
They got rid of him
in Chicago, his hometown.
And we heard,
yes.
Who's the biggest in Chicago?
We heard why, too.
He wasn't the biggest in Chicago when they got rid of him. He was nowhere near the biggest in Chicago when they got rid of him.
We heard why.
Why?
Apparently, from everything I heard from people in Chicago, and we hear from a lot of people in Chicago, a lot of big company bigwigs from different companies, and he is very difficult to work with. It's an ass. The guy's a jackass, a self-important, pompous fool.
And he won't listen to anyone around him, and he's...
No.
Yeah. Hey, all right, listen.
And that leaves him in a position where he's got to go on, other people's talk shows, and that's the only time he gets to take his shots, because he's not on the radio anywhere that matters.
So he's on the radio, but he does it on other people's talk shows.
He still does a radio show from his hometown of Chicago, but he's not heard in his hometown of Chicago. I know he's not from Chicago originally, but he made his name in Chicago, and he does a show for tiny little little cities that you barely can pronounce their names, even though they're in America.
Right.
Those type of places. Like, he's not in Philadelphia. He's not in Washington. He's not in Boston or
don't
New
even
York
go that far.
or Vegas.
Name a city you know in, like, South Dakota.
Honolulu.
A city you know in South Dakota. He's not in one of those.
Places like Duluth.
Duluth.
Not even sure if it's Duluth.
And that's like one of his major markets. I'm talking places you never heard of, so we can't even say them. I don't know. I don't know them because I've never heard of them.
Right. So it sounds like he's a bit jealous.
Yeah.
He's a bit jealous. So we got the audio from O'Reilly. We got
and he's got his big radio voice on when he does this. Does he talk like this, nice, big, and fast? And then when you hear him talk regular, it's just regular speech.
And he
hack.
He talks like that because if you really listen closely to what he has to say, he's not really saying anything. So if you put the big voice on. I guess it's supposed to mean something. I guess it gives some credibility to what you're saying if you got the...
Yeah. What a pompous fool, too. On one of his websites, I guess, there's a big map of the United States to try to find where he is. Mm-hmm. And if you scroll over it, nothing comes up. And it's pick and choose a state, and then you hit a state like, Wyoming, and it'll light up, and it'll give a market in that state. So you can't even...
There you go. He's in This is exactly what I'm telling you. He's in markets you don't really know how to pronounce the town names. Missoula. Not Missouri. It's Missoula.
He's in Missoula.
Anyway, we got his audio from Bill O'Reilly. We got us on MSNBC, which is just a scream. We'll explain that whole thing after the break. Okay, Ant?
All right.
We got Bob Kelly here for Jim Norton. We got Kevin Smith doing the whole show with us today.
Nice.
I think he's coming in around 7. Oh, now a little later than 7? Okay. Kevin Smith sometime in the 7 o'clock hour. And our pal Bob Saget calling in a few minutes as well. We got a very, very busy show. We'll start with the MSNBC audio after the break. It's Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony!
All right, here we go. So Bill O'Reilly last night. Everyone's talking about the morning rave, the hold your wee for a wee. And early on, we said, hey, we'll be dragged into this. You watch. And it happened last night with Bill O'Reilly.
Factor Outrage of the Week segment tonight. 28-year-old Jennifer Strange, mother of 3, wanted to win a Nintendo game for her kids, so she participated in a radio shock jock stunt in Sacramento. She drank 2 gallons of water and didn't go to the bathroom. The person who held out the longest won the prize. Later that day, Jennifer was found dead from water intoxication. 10 people have been fired at KDND Radio, and lawsuits are expected to fly. Joining us now from Chicago, syndicated radio host Mancow Muller. You're not surprised.
Mancow.
Yeah. Who's not on in Chicago?
He's not on in Chicago anymore.